and welcome to EcoWatch Australia. I'm Angelique Salakis and this is the news. We are here to talk about a pressing issue in Australian ecosystems. Recently, cane toads have begun to invade areas previously occupied by toads native to Australia. These invasion hubs are commonly found to be small dams that cane toads use as water source and protection during the dry season. Theoretical studies show that cane toad populations and their effects can be managed by controlling the invasion hubs. This study looks at whether or not creating ecological traps out of the invasion hubs will attain the continued control needed to manage the cane toads. Toads use many senses, including olfactory, auditory, and visual, to find water. Knowing this, these scientists use this to their advantage. Now let's take a look at the methods with Sarah.
Thanks, Angelique. Scientists believe that if they maintain the cues that draw these cane toads to the dams, but restrict access to water with fences, they could turn the dams into ecological traps. If they are successful, fencing dams could be used to eradicate the invasive toad species. To prove the predictions that fenced dams are attractive, but don't provide for toads' needs and that fenced dams cause toad populations to decrease, scientists maintain fences around dams for 1 year through a dry and wet season. Scientists decided to use the number of toads they find around the dams at the end of 2 phases as a proxy measure for toad fitness. They counted the toads at the end of the first dry season, day 70, and at the end of the second dry season, days 190 and 365. Back to you, Angelique.
Thanks. Now let's see what that means with the figures and results with Jessica.
Thank you. Let's first look at this top figure, figure B. This graph illustrates toads killed over the course of the experiment. In the fenced area, denoted by the triangle, it can be seen that after the fence is built, the number of deaths initially spike, then levels off due to a small population in the area. After frogs enter the area again, though, they begin to die off again. The unfenced area, denoted by the square, though, sees minimal frog deaths and is a control in the situation. These results support the prediction that fenced dams provide poor habitats for the cane toad, even though they appear attractive to them. Now let's take a look at the second figure. This graph shows the total frog population over the experimental time. Over the entire length of time, the fenced area, again shown as a triangle, has an extremely low population, which makes sense thinking back to those high death rates in the previous figure. The unfenced area, though, flourishes and maintains a relatively consistent population over the course of the time. This provides support to the second prediction that the fenced dams have lower populations. Back to you, Angelique.
Now let's wrap it up by bringing it back to the classroom with Sarah.
Thanks, Angelique. So in Module 1, we discussed invasive species, and this was a real-life application of invasive species. Furthermore, we were continually discussing hypotheses, how to create them, and this is an excellent example of how to create a hypothesis, test it, analyze it, and just overall fully understand whether or not the hypothesis was proved or not. So that's it for tonight's EcoWatch Australia. Stay classy, Sydney.